Hey everybody, good morning, good morning. We're here live to talk about all things intuition today. Today's workshop is Discovering Your Intuition, the gateway to unleashing your inner power. It's one of my favorite topics to talk about, and I can't wait to share more with you to see how you can learn to develop that ability of listening to your intuition and using it to guide you throughout your life. So intuition, a lot of people kind of know it as being that gut feeling, right? So listening to your gut. Our intuition is a way that we are being guided throughout our life, and it is something that can speak to us in different ways depending on where our strengths are located when it comes to this sense of intuition. Some people even refer to intuition as being the sixth sense, right? And so it is something that is truly powerful, especially with women, but it also can be a gift when it comes to men, and it can help us to guide us throughout our life with the decisions that we make. So thank you for everyone that's hopping on here live. Thank you to those of you that are catching the replay. Feel free to comment below and let me know if you're on here live. And as we continue on, if you have questions or comments or an experience that you'd like to share, definitely feel free to drop those in the comments, and let's get started. So when we're looking at intuition, it's very important that we understand that intuition is going to speak to us differently than instincts or fear, because sometimes we can get those two confused. So when we're looking at intuition is going to be more of a calm sense of knowing something, of feeling like you can be confident and trusting in what you're being told. It's not going to be feeling like compulsory or almost like a fight or flight response, right? Needing to flee from something. It's not going to be something that you're super insecure in. However, I'd like to add that as you are first developing your skills of intuition and learning to listen to them and trust them, you might be not too confident in it, right? Because it's something that oftentimes is not a tangible thing. It's something that's going to come through your senses, your clairs, which we will talk about in a moment here. And so it's not always something that you can see outside of yourself, touch, or feel outside of yourself, right? How many of you have ever gotten goosebumps when either you're talking about something and that's like kind of showing you that it's true, or when someone shares a very touching story with you and you get like those goosebumps all over your body? I like to call those truth bumps. That's a sign for me from spirit, from the universe, that is correct, that I'm on the right path. It's a little nudge in the right direction, and it's so wonderful when you're able to experience that. Getting back to what intuition is, it's going to be neutral. It's not going to be driven by any sort of attachment to the outcome. Whereas when we're living in a fear-based or instinctual-based way, there's going to be an egotistical attachment to the outcome. So, if we'll do an example here. Like, let's say that you're driving down the road and you see something ahead of you and it scares you, and your instinct is to, slam on the brakes. Like, obviously you want to slam on the brakes to not hit something, but that's going to be more of an instinctual, more of a fear-based. It's going to be attached to the ego. Whereas another case where your intuition may be guiding you, let's say that you are on that same path, that same morning, that a similar time, but let's rewind a couple minutes prior, and suddenly you have this idea just come to you. Maybe it's an idea, maybe you hear something inside of your head, maybe you have a feeling, or you just know that you should turn the corner and just take a different path. And you listen. And when you listen, later on, you find out that you avoided this incident that would have been further up the road. So you could see how in one instance, that's your intuition giving you this nudge to go this certain way, to avoid something, right? And then the other instance is fear, right? Instinctual, right? A response to a stimulus. That intuition is going to be an inner voice. It's going to be guidance that comes from inside of yourself. Whereas like fear and instinctual is oftentimes something that is stimulated or triggered outside of yourself that you're reacting to. So one is internal, the other is a response to an external thing, right? And then two, with our intuition, you're going to be listening to your higher self, your true self, or the universe to messages that you're receiving, spiritual messages, maybe from your loved ones that are your spirit guides that are pushing you in the right direction, compared to, again, that ego dominant. So fear is oftentimes attached to the ego, right? And so when we're living from a place of ego, it's more of a place of self-preservation and not always what's going to be best for us and for others. All right. And then the intuition is something that's going to come more in the flow of things, whereas fear and instinct is going to be something that you don't even really think about, right? You react. And not saying that that's a bad thing, right? Because that can protect you. Yes, there is a reason behind it. So we're not saying anything against that. But we are saying that there is a benefit to following your intuition, right? Because in that example, we were able to completely avoid that situation, to avoid that stress and the trauma. Because even though you slammed the brakes and maybe you avoided causing or being a part of that accident, free from that, you didn't have to experience that and have that stress that would stick with you, right? And could possibly cause further trauma down the road, if that makes sense, when you're in the car and driving, you know, flashbacks and stuff like that. So yes, and when I say free from that and go like this, that is a sign to our subconscious mind to not hold on to any of that information or anything that I said, right? Because our subconscious mind is like a sponge. And so when you're watching TV or listening to podcasts, watching videos, whatever, watching these things, right? Your brain is taking in, your mind is taking in everything that you're hearing, seeing, feeling. It's processing all of that. And so we don't want to hold on to the bad stuff, because we are the creators of our lives, of our situations in our lives. I know sometimes it's difficult to wrap your head around how you could possibly have created something that's not so good if you're experiencing something not so good, but it is true. Our thoughts become things. So we don't want to take in, you know, any of the side effects for medication when you're watching stuff on TV. Like mute that, fast forward it, free from that every time you hear something, because you don't want to hold on to that. So that is my little explanation on the free from that, if you're new to me and that's new to you. All right, so let's go over some of the signs that you may notice if you're not listening to your intuition, when you're ignoring your intuition. And again, if you guys have any questions about things, comments, feel free to blow up the comment section on this, and I will get back to you after this live. I like to kind of stay focused on the task at hand, and I understand that sometimes when I start to answer questions, I kind of go off on a tangent. So we're going to stay focused, we're going to be respectful of your time and stay on task for this live class here. But I will go back and answer questions and anything that you put in the comments later. So thanks again for being on here live and watching on the replay. So signs that you are ignoring your intuition. So how many of you feel like sometimes you maybe ignore that inner feeling, that inner knowing, that gut feeling. If that's you, put a 1 in the comments. That sometimes you ignore it, right? Like I said, in the beginning, for me especially, when I was learning to tap into my intuition, I wasn't always super confident in the messages that I was receiving. And that's something that comes with practice, right? Just with anything, like with riding a bike or learning a new sport or learning an instrument or learning something in school, learning a new language, right? The more you practice, the easier it gets. And that's the same thing when it comes to intuition. But when we are not listening to our intuition, when we're not allowing that to guide us, there are some side effects that we can experience in our life. One of them may be feeling like you're pushing uphill, right? Like you're working against something. Maybe you're getting a lot of messages from your intuition that the direction you're headed, the decision that you're making is not the best for you. And that can almost feel, when you're not listening to that intuitive advice, that can almost feel like you're pushing a boulder uphill, right? It should come with ease, right? Things should come effortlessly, and they can, and they get to be that easy. They get to be. And I know it's hard to wrap your head around it sometimes, especially if you're new to this, if you're new to your spiritual awakening and this kind of information, but it gets to be. We get to choose. You may experience, if you're not listening to your intuition, your body is going to give you signs and symptoms. So you may be experiencing some sorts of aches or pains. Free from that, right? You might experience anxiety. You might be depressed, right? Because when we are not doing enough of what lights us up, of things that make us happy and bring us joy, and following those messages that our intuition is nudging us along with, you're going to start to feel the opposite of joy and of love, right? And that makes sense. How many of you can look back in your life in a moment where maybe you were in a dark place or challenged or struggling, or maybe that's you right now? If that's you right now, put a 2 in the comments. Put a 2 down below if that's you right now, if you resonate with that. Sending you so much love and peace and healing for where you are in your life. But know that you don't have to stay there, and that there's a way out of that. So I'm happy to have a conversation with you if that resonates with you. But know that when we avoid the direction that we are being led in our life, our purpose, our passion, that there's going to be things that happen outside of us that are going to show us that we need to redirect, we need to shift, we need to change our path. And we will also get confirmation when we are on the correct path, right? And I'm going to give an example of this. This is actually something that literally just happened yesterday. So those of you that have been following me for a little while, you know that I'm into the Reiki energy healing. You know that I receive intuitive guidance, that I communicate with spirit. And I have gone back and forth for a while now, couple years, about actually stepping into that path and following that nudge that I've been receiving. And I finally yesterday was like, you know what, this is the path that I'm meant to go down, is to help people with their energy, help heal their energy, help them to receive healing messages from beyond, from their loved ones past, to give them evidence of life beyond death, so that they can live their most happy, fulfilling, joyous life in the present. And whenever I make a decision on something, I ask that God, the universe, spirit, shows me that I'm headed in the right direction. And I was at my part-time job last night and happened upon one of my tables that I work at a steakhouse, so I like wait on tables, cocktail, whatever. One of the tables was actually having a conversation about a loved one that had visited her in her dream. And so for me to happen upon that conversation, and then too, I had a lot of intuitive things going on. I had full body goosebumps when I shared that with a coworker that knows about my little secret. She got full body goosebumps, and I did again. And I'm like, all right, this is what I need to do. This is being guided, right? Being led, having that purpose. So when we are not following our intuition, we aren't going to listen to that inner guidance system. We're going to take other people's guidance and opinions on what they think we should do above where we are being guided ourselves. So, and oftentimes that leads to us not feeling connected with ourselves. And like I said before, it can bring that energy down, right? You can feel uninspired, unmotivated, and you can get in your head and second guess everything. How many of you are my overthinkers? Let's put a 3 in the comment if you're an overthinker, right? You overthink yourself into like this cloud of confusion and you don't understand where you should go, what you should do. You're just overwhelmed and bogged down. Put a 3 in the comments if that's you. That used to be me too. And there's a way out of that, and it's called listening to that intuition and being able to trust yourself and to be able to be guided by yourself, other than putting so much weight upon the things that other people believe for you, right? They don't know your journey up until now. They don't know where you're going. They don't know your passions that are hidden deep within. And so it's so important to listen to the guidance that you are receiving personally and from above, and whatever you believe in, right? I believe in God. I believe in the universe. I believe in energy, right? And also, when you're not listening to your intuition, you can feel like you're an imposter, like you don't belong, right? And that also can come from overthinking what something means or what someone said to you, right? You keep finding yourself in similar unwanted situations over and over and over. And when we're finding ourselves in those places, it's because we are not following that inner guidance. We are doing things to please others, right? People pleasers, where are you at? Where are you at? People pleasers, put a 4 in the comments. People pleasers, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, right? The first step to being able to shift something, to improve it, to change it, is to have an awareness to that. Awareness is step 1. And then once we have that awareness, we can change. So now, looking back at all of those signs that you're not listening to your intuition, think about how many of those resonate with you. Think about our intuition versus our fear and instinctual way of functioning in life, right? Are you able to receive a message and go with it, even though you're like, where did this come from? Right? You may often be seen as being just spontaneous, right? And you kind of go with the flow, and that's good. It's fine. You're listening to yourself, and you're doing what feels right, what feels good to you. So take stock of that and see where you align. I'd be interested to see if you think that you lean more towards being intuitive and listening to your gut. Put gut in the comments. If you listen to yourself, if you're able to pause and listen. Maybe you don't always do the thing that your gut is telling you, but you hear it, right? And then if you listen to others more, you listen to people outside of yourself, put others in the comments. Others if you're listening to other people. Gut if you're listening to that intuition. You're sometimes following what it's telling you, right? That's a whole nother story if you're like being completely intuition led and manifesting and all that jazz. We're kind of starting with the basics here, right? Square one, just awareness of where we're at, taking stock of that, taking inventory, and then being able to use that to our advantage is going to come next with the next session, right? So how does your intuition speak to yourself? And I know earlier I mentioned Claire's. So some of you are like, Claire, I have a friend Claire. I have a friend Claire too. Maybe she's on here. I don't know. She's in this group. But our Claires are ways that we can sense things outside of ourselves. It's internal sensing of external stuff. So it's your intuition speaking to you. And we have several different clairs. One is going to be clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is clear seeing. So this is French, it's clear seeing. And that is that you are seeing things, right? And it's not always something that's going to be physically external to you. It can be like a good percentage of people that are clairvoyant are going to see things inside of their head. So it's like an imagination, like having an imagination. And for me, when I was younger, I thought that everybody saw stuff. I was just like, yeah, like this is normal. Everyone's seeing things. And sometimes you might see stuff out here. For me, when I first started to be more aware of what I was seeing, I would see things in my peripheral. I would see shadows. And that's how I began to develop that ability. I don't want to say it's a gift because this is accessible to everyone, literally everyone. I'm not any different or any more special than any of you. We all have the ability to do this. It's just some of us, like earlier, have practiced riding that bike a little bit more, have taken the time to understand it and to develop it, right? So clairvoyance is being able to see things. Maybe you see signs, right? You might see repetitive numbers. You might see things that mean something to you. One of my friends I just got off a call with this morning, she sees hummingbirds. And it was truly powerful because yesterday I felt compelled to pull a card for her. And from a particular deck of cards that I have, like I saw this red package in my mind. So I went and drew a card from here. And the card that I drew for her was one with a beautiful hummingbird on top. Let me see if I can grab it out here for you. Right here. So that was her message. And when we discussed that today, she said that that's the way that her best friend, who is in spirit, likes to show that she's there. So that was pretty powerful. So, clairvoyance, seeing stuff, seeing signs, seeing symbols, seeing repetitive things, right? Being aware of what we're thinking when we see those things is powerful. And then we have clairaudient. Audient is hearing. And it may not be like you hear someone talking to you in the room. It can be different from that. You can hear it inside of your head, right? So there's a larger amount of people that hear it inside, just like seeing inside, than people that see and hear outside of themselves. And it can be a combination, right? I've had times where I've heard outside of myself, but it was in a moment where I really needed that nudge. I was in a place where I needed a good swift kick. So it just depends. You know, spirit will do what it needs to get your attention. So clairaudient, you can hear things inside your head. It could be music, right? You could hear a certain song that reminds you of someone that you love, or a song that lifts your spirits up right when you need it, right? Or with clairaudient, you can see words inside of your head. So instead of hearing the word, you could see it inside of your head with clairaudience. And then we have clairsentient, which is feeling, right? So maybe you just feel a certain way, right? When you listen to people talk, you can kind of pinpoint where their strengths are concerning these clairs, because someone will be like, I feel, or I see, or I heard. Like the way that they format their sentences and describe how they experience stuff is going to be using words that are going to be very strong at pointing the direction of where their strongest clair is going to be feeling. Feeling, you can get goosebumps, right? You can notice changes in temperature and stuff like that. That can help to motivate you or inspire you or guide you. or you may even have sensations in your body, right? The whole intuition, like feeling it in your gut, that is clairsentient feeling, right? And some people literally have a feeling in their gut, and other people, maybe they hear something, or they see something inside their mind, or maybe they know something. And that is the last clair. It's going to be claircognizant. And that's going to be when you know something, you don't know how you know it, but you just know. And so, thinking of those clairs, which one do you think is strongest with you? When you think about experiences, do you say like, I feel, I felt, right? I heard, I just knew. And all of those, so all of those you're able to develop and grow, which is awesome, right? Just like learning a new instrument or a new language or learning to ride a bike. You can learn and develop and grow all of those. But usually you have one that's going to be a little bit stronger than the others, which is cool and it's normal and that's okay. So let me know in the comments if you are someone that is clairaudient, you hear things, you hear messages, and don't feel bad if none of this applies to you at the moment, right? Maybe it's something that you are interested in and you'd like to explore more. And we'll have opportunity for that in the next session. Maybe you feel things, you're a feeler, right? Put feel in the comments. Maybe you know stuff. Maybe you see stuff, so put no if you just know sometimes, put see if you just see sometimes. And if you have experience with all of those, just put all in the comments that you've at some point had more than one of those speak to you, right? So now I'm going to guide you through a little meditation that's going to help to develop that intuition a little bit deeper. I love that, Jill. All awesome. Thanks for the 3s, Adrian. Thanks for being on here live, everyone. All right, so we're going to do a meditation. So if you're driving a car, then don't follow along with closing your eyes and all that jazz. So make sure that you are in a place where you can close your eyes and relax. So we're going to go through a guided meditation right now to help you to deepen that intuition, to discover it a little bit more. So just get into a relaxing position and find a quiet, comfortable space where you won't be disturbed. So I prepared this meditation for you guys ahead of time. So I'm going to be reading from my screen here. And I'll be adding in anything that I feel guided to through spirit as we go through this. So you can sit or lie down and close your eyes, and we're just going to bring some awareness to our breath. So as you take your inhales, as you take that beautiful breath in, just notice your body and how it's moving and expanding and making space for that beautiful breath. Maybe the shoulders are rising, maybe the ribs are expanding. And as you exhale, notice how your body is contracting, right? Those lungs are compressing, the rib cage is coming in, the shoulders drop. And as you inhale, we open back up. And visualize as you do so the movement of energy. As you take that breath in, feel that energy circle through your body. And as you exhale, feel that energy leave. As you inhale, envision that energy now coming down through the crown of your head and extending down through your body all the way to your fingertips, all the way down to your toes. And as you exhale, just allow that energy to circulate throughout your entire body. Noticing how it feels, noticing any sensations. Now imagine a soft, warm light surrounding you. Continuing to breathe just at a normal pace, aware and deep. And imagine this soft light cocooning you in a protective, loving energy. This light represents your inner guidance, your intuition. And as you continue to breathe deeply and slowly, feel this light infusing your entire being. With each breath, this light grows stronger, filling you with a sense of calm and peace. Imagine roots extending from your body into the earth, grounding you, providing an even further sense of calm and relaxation. And feel the connection between your energy as you breathe in and the earth's energy. There's a flow between the two. And now in the stillness of this sacred space, become aware of your senses. Listen to the silence. Pay attention to any subtle sounds around you. You might hear the sound of your dog snoring next to you. You might hear the hum of your own breath, or even a gentle, distant melody. And these sounds may hold messages from your intuition, so just take stock of that. Tune into your physical sensations, your feelings. Do you feel warmth? Are you experiencing coolness? Or maybe tingling in any part of your body? Just take note of that. And pay special attention to that heart center, the center of your chest. It holds the deepest insights and intuition right there, smack dab in the center of your body. Trust your inner wisdom, that inner knowing. Allow thoughts or insights to come to you without judgment. Just let them come to you. Don't judge them. These thoughts might not seem logical at first, but they carry messages from your intuition. And then trust your mind's eye. You're seeing that clairvoyance. Visualize a peaceful landscape. And as you explore this landscape, pay attention to the details. What do you see? Perhaps you'll spot symbols, images, or scenes that hold a special meaning to you. And now as you remain in this receptive state, open your heart to the messages you receive. Trust your intuition. It's your inner compass, your guiding star. I'm going to invite you to imagine yourself standing at the edge of a lush forest. The forest is vibrant with life, and a soft, inviting breeze rustles the leaves. Before you, 3 paths stretch into the heart of the forest. Each path is different, and each path will take you in a unique direction in life. It's important to note that no direction is wrong. So looking at these 3 paths that lay ahead of you, connect with your breath. Feel the breath move through your body. And I know a lot of you are going to be overthinking this. So if you're feeling that light pressure or density inside of your head, let's drop that awareness down into your heart. So it's simple to do that just by envisioning that thinking dropping down directly into your chest and centering yourself in your heart. As you exhale, feel into that heart center and ask yourself, which path shall I choose? 3 paths. Which path shall I choose? Don't overthink it. Just notice the information that's coming to you. Is it a feeling? Is it a word or a sound or a number? Is it a knowing? Maybe you just know. Or are you seeing something? Maybe an arrow or an arm pointing in the direction you are to take. Maybe your whole body shifts in that direction. Just notice as you ask which path you should take, how you are experiencing that moment and the information that you're receiving. Now allow your intuition to guide you. Trust what you feel, see, hear, or know as you connect with these 3 paths. Which one of them is calling out to you? And know that whatever path it is, it aligns with your current needs and your intentions. When you're ready, take a step towards the path that speaks to you the most. As you continue down the path, you notice that the path is being created as you walk it. Your thoughts become things, and those things are being laid down ahead of you step by step. Continue to follow your path in gratitude, in positivity, and a deep sense of trust in that intuition. As you venture further along the path you've chosen, continue to be receptive to the signs and messages that may come your way. Continue to be aware of your thoughts and how they are laying the bricks for you to continue to step upon. Your intuition is your guide. It will reveal insights and guidance as you walk this path. This path is your journey forward from this now moment, right now. Your intuition is a tool to guide you. Whenever you feel lost, you can ask your intuition to bring you back to this place so you can choose again. You always have a choice, always. And you are the creator of the path you choose, right? Your thoughts are becoming those bricks that are laying down that path ahead of you. So if we want different, we have to think different, right? Change your mind, change your life. Your intuition is your inner compass. It will lead you exactly where you need to be. With gratitude for the insights that you've gained, let's slowly bring our awareness back to the present moment, wiggling those fingers and toes, maybe stretching those arms out side to side or reaching them up overhead, bringing some movement back to the body and slowly beginning to open your eyes. As you come back to awareness, you're back here, back to now. I'd love for you to share in the comments below how your intuition spoke to you. What did you see, hear, feel, or know in that moment when you were asked to choose your path? I'd love to know. And if you didn't see or experience anything, that's perfectly fine too, right? There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. Awesome. I love that. Great. You feel great. Awesome, Jill. Please share how your intuition spoke to you if it did. I'd love to see what your strengths are. Knocking my little camera around. And know that any one of those skills can be fine-tuned. It's an ability, right? It's not a gift. Anyone can receive that. And so as we're bringing this Discovering Your Intuition workshop to a close, I love to invite you to join me for my next workshop, which is going to be, Jill, the conversation here would be in the group. So if you prefer to comment privately, you can send me a personal message. So I'd love to receive your personal message and we can talk there. And then that way that will be one-on-one and just between us. So feel free to send me a message if you'd like, my dear. It is not public, like anyone can see, only the people within this community. So that as long as they're in the community, they can see it. So you can send me a private message and we can chat there, okay? And following this Discovering Your Intuition class, we are going to have an Unleash Your Intuition masterclass. So this class is going to be a live session. I mean, this is live here. We leave the replay up, right? But the Unleash Your Intuition is going to be for you to come on with me. So we're going to be on Zoom. And it's going to be only with the individuals that sign up for this particular session. I will be dropping the details in the group later on. So I'm going to give a couple different times and date options for that. And as long as one person is signed up, it will be taking place. But know that that class will be offered over Zoom. There will not be anything put in this community for that because we will be working in a very small, intimate setting with up to 3 individuals. And we will be working on those clairs, seeing where your strength lies, and going through exercises and visualizations in order to grow and develop those other clairs. So if you're interested in that, just stay tuned. I will be dropping that into the group later this afternoon. So in a little bit, once I get off of here. So I just want to thank all of you for hopping on here live. I want to thank those of you that have been participating and leaving your comments below. It's super helpful when I'm on here teaching something and I have someone that's interacting with me. And even thank you to those of you watching the replay. And I want to send you all so much love and gratitude. I'm appreciative of you being in this community, and I am absolutely having so much fun putting on these events for you all and these workshops. And if you have any friends that you think would benefit from tapping into their intuition, stepping into that more manifesting, law of attraction, spiritual guidance type setting, then feel free to invite them. I'd love for them to be a part of the community. I'd love to grow and have more like-minded souls in here. And I'd love to support you as you continue to learn and to grow. I will see you all very, very soon. And like I said, I'll be dropping some details here in the group about how you can join Unleashing Your Intuition. It's going to be a small masterclass done privately over Zoom in a very intimate setting. So I will see you all very soon. Have a happy Friday, an amazing weekend, and ta-ta for now. Thanks, Jill. Bye, hon.